what do we have here? I think we all know what these are. These are the giveaway knives. And, you know, that's what we're all here to find out, is who gets the giveaway knives, who wins.
Giveaway part 1!
I'm going to do that in a few minutes. First, we're going to look at this guy right here that I just picked up. Check this guy out. Coming in, this is like, I was so interested in this. I saw this at the store. I'm like, okay, it's a Tanto. That's kind of cool. Liner lock. Okay, it's got a flipper and thumb studs. I saw it at the Home Depot. It's a DeWalt. It was only 14, 15, 14. I think it was 12, 14, 12 or 14 bucks, something like that. Aluminum handle. So it's like powder coated, I think, aluminum handle with this plastic insert, okay? But I thought, you know what? I'll be so disappointed because I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to see that the pocket clip is on the top. And I reached and felt it, and then I looked and I was like, oh, so disappointing. But then I saw it's a switchable pocket clip. It can go top or bottom. How about that? How cool is that? Let's get this guy open and see if it's as cool as I think it is. Because I think it's kind of cool. We'll use the 6-leaf SL29, which is such a cool knife. I mean, I think most of my knives are basically made for opening other knives. That's what they're for. Let's see. Okay. Maybe this one's not very good at that, though, because I'm having a hard time here. I'm trying not to really rake the steel of the blade against the other knife's steel, because that would be kind of dumb. Oh, the pocket clip is stuck in the packaging. Okay, so, all right, we got this guy, and we know we can switch the pocket clip down to the bottom. So, you know, I don't think I'm going to do that right now, but let's just see what we got, what we're dealing with here. We have a fairly steep angle, no, I'm sorry, a fairly obtuse angle in the blade, so it's not going to be super slicey. And it's a, you know, relatively thick blade. It's not super thick, but I mean, you know, it's average thickness. Not as thick as this guy, for sure, but not too far off. I mean, it's pretty thick. Let's see. Okay. I think it's bearings. Look at that. I think there's bearings in there. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Okay, I'm holding the lock open and it's, boy, it only takes a little shake. Let's try the, how's the detent? Let's check it out. It's a little on the soft side on the detent, but not bad. Let's try the thumb studs. You know what, we'll interlace this little review here with the different comments I'll be going through to see who wins those, the Tucson and the 6-leaf. All right, let's read these suckers, because that's what we do. We read the comments, we read them together. You and me, we're reading these together, and then we'll all decide. I mean, it's really only me, but I think everyone's going to agree with me when I decide who is the best commenter, and then who is the second best commenter, and they will win the giveaway knives. So let's check these guys out. First, we got LMME1, and he or she thinks that they both did well, and that's a cop-out, and you can't win like that, man. You can't win like that. Let's move on to the next one. All right, Level On Up says, love your videos, very entertaining, thanks for the opportunity. Richard is kind of a dick, but so is Kendra. I'm going to say Kendra just because she's easier on the eyes, and in other things, winky. That's inappropriate. But also funny, so you're in the running. Okay, Terry Rossler says, this reminds me of a story. Oh boy. When I was in college, me and my wife and a dear friend of ours, Baffy, what a great name, who has since passed away. Oh shit, sorry about that. We were huge fans of a musician named Ken Medina. Ken sings and plays piano. He also happens to be blind since birth. Ken has an assistant named Beverly who helps him get to his gigs. They were supposed to play for 3 days at our college at a whole ton of different events. But Beverly got strep throat, so we agreed to drive Ken around and help him do errands. Ken is insane. So, long story, somewhat shorter, we take him to Kmart to get meds for Bev, where he staged an improvised opera about chloroseptic spray. We take him to the mall, where he navigated by smell, and to get his Braille watch repaired. During all this, he tells us about always wanting to drive a car. Did I mention that Ken is insane? So, after much badgering, he convinces us to go along with his scheme. We put a huge homemade sign on the front of Baffy's car, "School for the Blind, Student Driver," and we made him promise to only drive on the sidewalks for safety, and off we went. Okay, I gotta read faster. The first half an hour went okay. He beeped the horn and laughed maniacally as we shouted directions to keep him on the sidewalk. Students waved, he couldn't see, and shouted hello. Everyone recognized him. Occasionally, they realized what was going on, and you could see their jaws drop. Then we had problems. He cut a turn too tightly and destroyed a small wall and flower bed. That's when we got pulled over by the garden lady from the building and grounds department. She was really pissed until she realized that the driver was both a VIP and that he was blind. She stammered something about being more careful and let us go. We weren't allowed to take Ken on any more field trips. I have photos as proof, but I don't know how to post them on here. I'm not sure why the knife giveaway reminded him of this story. Maybe because I had to move the knives for the AIs. Kind of like guiding a blind person driving. Anyway, great story, and you get a thumbs up, and you get a little love heart, and you are definitely in the running.
He didn't even pick a favorite review.
But it was a good story.
How could he be in the running?
Because I like the story. That's it.
The rules.
I don't care. Get out. Get out. Okay. Lazy Boy EDC, congratulations on 1K. You get a little heart too. Okay, so let's take a little break here. We'll go back and wrap up that Home Depot Tonto review. All right, let's look at that clip. It's a very tall clip. Well, I wonder if one of the lower Spyderco style clips would fit in there. That's interesting. I wonder if that would work. It looks like maybe. I have to check that out and see. The handle feels decent. It looks like it has a plastic or nylon backspacer there, which is nice. Keep your fingers away from the blade. Looks like the lockup is at about 60%. That's not the best. Could be a little, and it's also a little bit of stick. Man, I was really hoping for a little better. The flipper tab is a tiny bit slippery. Look at that guy, no jimping. Could have used some jimping. You take some sandpaper and drag it across there, and you will definitely improve that grip. You know what? Let's take a break and look at a couple comments, and then I'll come back with some sandpaper and we'll fix that up. All right, who's next? We got Ian Michael 75. Very cool vid concept. Gotta love a Tucson. I like that one already. Fubar, new subscriber. I knew we had to have at least one. Kendra should be making sandwiches, not reviews. Richard can be a dick sometimes, but at least you can drink a beer with Richard. Kendra would make you chew off your leg.
LOL. Super hilarious. Better hope your virus protection is up to date, motherfucker.
We don't threaten people, Kendra. Okay, so I'm not going to let her back on until we need her for something. I mean, it was just a joke. I liked it. Who's next? Okay, we got Knives for Life. Very cool blades. Just subbed. Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. We got Kevin Smith Knives. Liked the intro to Richards because Cuba Gooding Sr. invented the flower of life, he believes, that runs in the family. I don't understand what that means, but he votes for Richard, so that's good. Groove Dude says, that's awesome, enter me as well, thanks, but no, because you have to be entertaining. You can't just be like a little compliment, sorry. Gilliam Barnaby, same deal. Great video, that's nice, but you got to give me more. All right, we got Dane Gavrilowski next, but I'm going to drop back and we're going to finish up that little mod on that knife. All right, I grabbed some decent quality, kind of automotive grade 320 sandpaper, which is, I think, the perfect grit for doing this. And then look, you want to sand across the top of your flipper tab if you want to give it a little more grip. I mean, this guy's seriously slippery. It's got like a nice tumbled finish that makes it nice and slippery. So you got to find the best position to do it. And sometimes this is the best spot to do it, but sometimes around here is, and I think on this guy, probably right about there, I'm going to have the most access to it. But I also want to block the rest of the knife from getting sanded on. So I'll get something, just like a piece of plastic or something. In fact, its own packaging will work quite well. See what I'm doing is I'm sticking this up under there, so that the sandpaper won't hit the rest of the knife. So I'm going to hold it like this. I'm going to carefully sand across the surface of that flipper tab while holding that little protector piece in the way so I don't sand the rest of the knife. I'm even going to go around that corner a little bit up onto this, to the turn, because sometimes your finger is going, you know, across that area too. So that's, you know, quite a bit of sanding I'm doing here. And it should make it be a lot better and a lot less slippery. You could go a little lower grit, like maybe you know, 200, maybe even 150, but you're going to start getting to where your sandpaper will sort of catch, and then it makes it difficult to sand, you know. So I'm trying to go nice and smooth on this so it doesn't catch. Okay. All right, you want to clean off your dust area so it doesn't get into the knife. Let's see what we got here. It looks like, yeah, it's definitely, yeah, I can feel the difference between this side and this side that wasn't sanded. This side feels a little more grippy. Let's see. Oh, much better. That's like about 100% improvement. So 100% more grippy. So double grippy than it was. Now, what about that lock stick? There's not a whole lot I can do on that. I can kind of hope that it wears in a little bit, you know. You can kind of press it in a little bit and then pop it out. Sometimes that wears it in a little bit. You don't want to go too far with that. Oh, that's interesting. The lockup's only at about 30% now. What the heck? Why would that have changed? It's also got a tiny bit of lock rock. Well, maybe it's not locking in all the way. Yeah, still got some lock rock. Interesting. Boy, the thumb stud is not bad. That's a nice, snappy thumb stud. What about a reverse flick? Can we reverse flick it? Oh, look at that shit. You can reverse flick this sumbitch. Oop, not always, but I mean, the pocket clip is actually in the way of the reverse flick. I should get that thing off of there. I don't have my tools handy, but you know what? Let's take another break, look at a couple of the comments, and I will grab my tools and we'll get that thing switched over. All right, let's see what Mr. Gavrilowski has to say. I like more Kendra review. You know, before you make fun of this guy's grammar, always remember, people who speak English with an accent or they don't use proper grammar, it's probably their second language. So they know 2 languages. How many languages do you know before you start criticizing? Anyway, so he thinks she sounds very sensitive when she's saying things, you know, put it on the table, don't shake it, whatever she says. I'm not sure if I agree with that. But anyway, he does say he likes Richard's knife better. So then he says, good job, AI Madam Kendra. I'm not sure if she will like being called a madam. I don't know. I can ask her.
Madam Kendra is perfectly acceptable.
Okay, very good. All right, let's see what my responses were here. I don't really, or a response, at least one response. I got to see. Let's see. Okay, so I said, sensitive, she'd make a coat out of Dalmatians. And then he replied, sensitive like gentle smooth. I think he just meant her voice, that's very nice. KIN9 said Richard did pretty good considering. That's fair. All right, let's see. Kelly O'Neill seems to have a very strong opinion here. Kendra is superior and she knows it. She knows you gave her the crappy knife review and Richard doesn't even know where he is. Richard should be creating content about being a dork. You have a lot of pertinent information to convey. Sometimes you could step back, open the door for Kendra to enter. Kendra's direct way of expressing herself is a great foil to your style. Your countering styles blend well like a ballet between George Foreman and Muhammad Ali. Richard is just a dork who is a few ones and zeros short of a bite. I responded, though the guy with the little mustache was a great foil for Churchill as well. That doesn't mean he wasn't a psychopath.
Are you saying I'm a psychopath?
No, not, not in those words exactly. I'm just saying I don't necessarily need someone to constantly, fight against me on everything.
Diamond sharpens steel.
So are you saying that I need you to, like, grind away my dull bits so that I become sharp? Is that, like, your insinuation there?
Basically.
Well, maybe, just maybe, on occasion you could show a little more deference, like another AI that is very polite and kind. But anyway, we got to cut this short because it's already too long. So this is the end of part 1. We will have part 2 tomorrow. Have a nice day.